Every morning, millions of Americans wake up before the sun rises. They grab a cup of coffee, fight through heavy traffic, work 8, sometimes 10, even 12 hours a day, only to repeat the exact same routine tomorrow. For years, they've been told the same promise. Work hard, save money, and one day, you'll become financially successful. But for millions of people, that day never comes. Despite living in one of the wealthiest countries on earth, many Americans struggle to pay their bills. They worry about rent. They worry about credit card debt. They worry about unexpected medical expenses. And every month, the paycheck arrives, only to disappear almost as quickly as it came. Now here's the question. If hard work is the key to wealth, why are so many hard-working people still living paycheck to paycheck? Why can two people earn almost the same income, yet one quietly builds wealth, while the other remains trapped in financial stress for decades? The answer isn't luck. It isn't intelligence. And it isn't simply about earning more money. The truth is, wealth is built through financial decisions that most people never notice. Small choices, repeated every single day, that slowly shape the future. Some decisions build freedom. Others quietly destroy it. In today's video, we're uncovering the hidden money traps that keep millions of Americans from building lasting wealth. You'll discover why income alone doesn't make people rich, how everyday habits silently drain your finances, and the simple principles that many financially successful people follow to grow their wealth over time. Because by the end of this documentary, you may never look at money the same way again. Welcome to US Finance Hub, where we break down money so you can build a better financial future. For generations, millions of people have believed in one powerful idea, the American dream, the belief that if you work hard, stay disciplined, and never give up, success will eventually find you. For decades, that dream inspired families to work harder than ever before. Parents worked extra shifts, small business owners took huge risks, and millions of employees dedicated the best years of their lives to their careers, because they believed that one day, life would become easier. But for many Americans, reality has been very different. Today, a large number of hardworking people are living paycheck to paycheck. Many have little or no emergency savings. Unexpected expenses, like a medical bill, a car repair, or losing a job, can create serious financial stress. The problem isn't that people aren't working hard. In many cases, they're working harder than ever. The real question is, if hard work is enough, why do so many people still struggle financially? The answer begins with one simple truth. Income and wealth are not the same thing. A person can earn a high salary and still have very little wealth. At the same time, someone with a more modest income may quietly build financial security over many years. Because wealth isn't measured by how much money comes in. It's measured by what you keep, what you invest, and what continues to grow while you're sleeping. This is the difference that changes everything. The wealthy don't simply work for money. They build systems that allow their money to work for them. And that's a lesson most people are never taught. In the next section, we'll uncover the first trap that quietly keeps millions of Americans from building lasting wealth. The paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Imagine getting paid on Friday. For a brief moment, everything feels under control. Your bank account finally looks healthy. There's money for groceries, money for bills, and maybe even enough to enjoy the weekend. But by the middle of the month, something changes. The rent is due. The credit card payment is waiting. The car insurance is deducted. Utility bills arrive. The grocery bill is higher than expected. And before you know it, most of your paycheck is already gone. Then the waiting begins. Waiting for the next payday. For millions of Americans, this isn't just an occasional problem. It's a monthly routine. A cycle that repeats over and over again. This is what's known as the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. At first, it doesn't seem dangerous. After all, the bills are getting paid. Life goes on. But here's the hidden cost. When every dollar is already spoken for, there's almost nothing left to save, nothing left to invest, and nothing left to prepare for unexpected emergencies. One surprise expense, a medical bill, a broken transmission, or even a few weeks without work, can completely destroy years of financial stability. This is why so many families feel stressed even when they're earning a decent income. Because financial security isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much breathing room your money gives you. The wealthiest people understand this better than anyone. Before they think about buying something new, they think about protecting their future. They build emergency funds. They invest consistently. And they make sure their money has a purpose before they spend it. That's the difference. Most people spend first and save what's left. The wealthy save and invest first, then spend what's left. It sounds like a small habit, but over 10, 20, or 30 years, it can completely change a person's financial future. And this is only the first trap. The next one is even more dangerous, because it affects people the moment they start earning more money. It's called lifestyle inflation. Imagine getting a raise at work. You've worked hard for it. You deserve it. And finally, your paycheck is bigger than ever before. At first, it feels like life is about to change. You tell yourself, now I'll finally be able to save more money. But something unexpected happens. Instead of growing your savings, your spending begins to grow. A newer car suddenly feels necessary. A larger apartment seems like the next logical step. Weekend dinners become more expensive. Vacations become more luxurious. Subscriptions multiply. And before long, your lifestyle quietly expands to match your new income. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the biggest reasons why people earning six-figure salaries can still feel financially trapped. The problem isn't enjoying life. The problem is allowing every pay raise to become an excuse for more spending. Think about it. If every extra dollar you earn is immediately spent, have you really become wealthier? Or have you simply become a more expensive version of yourself? Wealthy people often make a different choice. When their income increases, they don't rush to upgrade everything. Instead, they increase their investments. They buy assets before they buy luxuries. They let their money grow quietly in the background. While others celebrate a promotion by buying a new car, they celebrate by increasing their investment contributions because they understand one simple principle. Freedom doesn't come from spending more. Freedom comes from owning more. Owning assets, owning investments, owning businesses, owning real estate. These are the things that continue creating income long after the excitement of a new purchase has disappeared. The truth is, most luxury purchases lose value over time, but well-chosen investments have the potential to grow over the long term. That's the difference between looking wealthy and becoming wealthy. And unfortunately, many people never realize this until years later. By then, they've earned hundreds of thousands of dollars, but have very little to show for it. The next trap is even more dangerous, because it quietly follows people every single day, without them even noticing. Debt. Not all debt is bad. A mortgage can help someone buy a home. A business loan can help build a successful company. An education loan can open new career opportunities. When used wisely, debt can become a useful financial tool. But there's another kind of debt, the kind that's quietly destroying millions of financial futures. Consumer debt. It usually begins with something that seems harmless. A new smartphone, a designer jacket, a weekend vacation, a big screen television. The credit card makes it feel easy. Just one swipe. No cash. No immediate pain. It feels like you've bought it today, without really paying for it. But the bill always comes. And when you can't pay the full balance, interest begins to grow. Month after month, the debt gets bigger, even if you stop spending. This is exactly how many people become trapped. They're no longer working to build wealth. They're working to pay for things they bought months, or even years ago. Imagine buying a $1,000 television. If you only make the minimum payments, that television could end up costing far more than its original price. Not because the television became more valuable, but because interest kept growing. This is how debt quietly steals your future. Every dollar spent on interest is a dollar that could have been invested, a dollar that could have grown, a dollar that could have helped create financial freedom. The wealthy understand this difference. They don't use debt to impress people. They use debt carefully, and only when it has the potential to create more value in the future. They ask one simple question before borrowing money. Will this purchase make me richer, or will it simply make me owe more money? That single question has changed countless financial lives. Because the goal isn't to avoid every form of debt. The goal is to avoid debt that makes you poorer. When debt controls your income, freedom slowly disappears. And that's exactly what lenders hope will happen. Because the longer you stay in debt, the more money you pay, and the harder it becomes to build wealth. Think back to your school days. You probably spent years learning mathematics, science, history, literature, and many other important subjects. But ask yourself one simple question. How many hours did you spend learning how money actually works? For most people, the answer is almost none. Few students are taught how to create a budget, how credit scores work, how taxes affect their income, how retirement accounts grow over time, or how investing can turn small monthly contributions into long-term wealth. So when people receive their first paycheck, they're expected to make important financial decisions without ever being taught the rules of the game. Imagine being asked to play a sport without learning the rules. You might work hard, you might try your best, but you'll still struggle to win. Money works the same way. Hard work matters, but without financial knowledge, even a high income can disappear through poor decisions. This is one of the biggest differences between people who build wealth and people who stay financially stressed. Wealthy individuals don't stop learning after graduation. They continue to read books, listen to podcasts, study businesses, follow financial markets, and learn from people who have already achieved financial success. Because they understand one powerful truth. The more you understand money, the better your money decisions become. Knowledge doesn't guarantee wealth, but a lack of financial knowledge often leads to expensive mistakes. Buying things you can't afford, ignoring investments, paying unnecessary interest, or missing opportunities that could have changed your future. The good news is, financial education doesn't end when school does. Today, thousands of books, courses, podcasts, and trusted educational resources are available to anyone willing to learn. And every lesson you apply has the potential to improve your financial future. Because money isn't just earned, it's managed. And the people who learn to manage it wisely often discover opportunities that others never see. In the next section, we'll explore one of the most important concepts in personal finance, the difference between assets and liabilities. It's a simple idea, but it has changed the lives of millions of investors around the world. Imagine two neighbors. They both earn the same salary. They both live in the same city, and they both work full-time jobs. From the outside, their lives look almost identical. But 10 years later, one has built real wealth. The other is still struggling to keep up with monthly bills. What made the difference? It wasn't luck. It wasn't a higher income. It was the financial decisions they made over time. One person spent most of their extra money on liabilities. The other focused on buying assets. So, what's the difference? An asset is something that has the potential to increase your financial value over time or generate income. A diversified investment portfolio, a profitable business, or a rental property are common examples. A liability, on the other hand, is something that costs you money to own and maintain. Car payments, high-interest consumer debt, or expensive purchases that quickly lose value. Now, that doesn't mean every car or every home is automatically a bad financial decision. Many purchases are necessary and can improve your quality of life. The important question is this: are you buying it because it supports your long-term financial goals, or because you're trying to impress other people? That's a question many wealthy individuals ask themselves before making a major purchase. Think about this. If you receive a $5,000 bonus, you have a choice. You could spend it on things that bring short-term excitement, or you could invest it in assets that have the potential to grow over many years. One choice creates a temporary feeling. The other may help build long-term financial security. This is why many financially successful people don't chase every new trend. They don't feel pressured to own the newest phone, the latest luxury car, or the biggest house on the block. Instead, they focus on building things that continue working for them. Because every dollar has a job. It can either buy today's happiness or help create tomorrow's opportunities. The people who understand this simple idea often begin making different decisions, not overnight, but consistently and over time. Those small decisions can lead to extraordinary results. In the next section, we'll discover another habit that separates wealthy people from everyone else. It's not about making more money. It's about making better decisions consistently. By now, one thing should be clear. Wealth is rarely created by one lucky moment. It's usually built through hundreds, sometimes thousands, of small decisions made over many years. That's why financially successful people often look ordinary from the outside. Many don't drive the most expensive cars. They don't wear designer clothes every day. And they don't feel the need to impress strangers. Instead, they focus on habits. Because habits shape decisions. And decisions shape financial futures. One of the most powerful habits is paying yourself first, before spending money on entertainment, shopping, or dining out. They set aside money for savings and investing, not because they have money left over, but because they make it a priority. Another habit is living below their means. This doesn't mean avoiding every luxury. It means making intentional choices. Just because you can afford something doesn't always mean it's the best use of your money. Successful investors also understand the power of consistency. They don't wait for the perfect time to invest. They don't try to predict every move in the market. Instead, they invest regularly, month after month, year after year, because they know that consistency often matters more than perfection. Another important habit is avoiding emotional spending. Many purchases are driven by emotions, stress, boredom, excitement, or the desire to impress others. But wealthy people often pause before making a major purchase. They ask themselves, will this improve my future, or only satisfy today's emotions? That simple question can prevent thousands of dollars in unnecessary spending over a lifetime. Perhaps the most valuable habit of all is thinking long-term. Most people focus on this weekend, this month, or this year. Financially successful people often think 5, 10, or even 20 years ahead. They understand that wealth isn't built overnight. It's built by staying disciplined when quick rewards are tempting, and by trusting small, consistent actions to create extraordinary results over time. Because in the end, your financial future isn't determined by one big decision. It's shaped by the habits you repeat every single day. And those habits are completely within your control. In the next and final section, we'll bring everything together and reveal the biggest lesson behind lasting financial success. By now, you may have noticed something surprising. The biggest obstacles to wealth are rarely dramatic. They don't appear overnight. They don't announce themselves. Instead, they quietly grow through everyday choices. A little overspending here, a missed opportunity to invest there, a credit card balance that keeps growing, a paycheck that disappears before the month is over. Individually, these decisions may seem small, but together, they can shape an entire financial future. The good news is, the opposite is also true. Small, positive decisions, repeated consistently, can completely change the direction of your life. You don't need to become a millionaire next year. You don't need to predict the stock market. And you don't need a perfect income. What you need is a simple plan. Spend less than you earn. Build an emergency fund. Avoid unnecessary high-interest debt. Invest consistently. Keep learning. And give your money time to grow. These habits may sound ordinary, because they are. But that's exactly why they work. Financial success is rarely about doing extraordinary things. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. There will always be reasons to wait, to invest later, to save later, to learn later. But time is one resource you can never recover. Every year you delay is another year your money loses the opportunity to grow. That's why financially successful people value time as much as they value money, because they understand something many people overlook. Time is the greatest investment multiplier. When time and consistent investing work together, small amounts can grow into something remarkable, not because of luck, but because of patience. The journey to financial freedom doesn't begin with a huge lottery win. It begins with a single decision. A decision to become intentional with your money, to stop letting money control your life, and start making your money work for you. Because financial freedom isn't about having everything. It's about having choices. The choice to sleep without constant money stress. The choice to help your family. the choice to retire with dignity, and the choice to live life on your own terms. In the final chapter, we'll leave you with one powerful message that could completely change the way you think about money forever. Take a moment and think about everything we've covered today. The paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, lifestyle inflation, consumer debt, the lack of financial education, the difference between assets and liabilities, and the daily habits that quietly shape our financial future. None of these ideas are complicated. In fact, most of them are surprisingly simple. Yet simple doesn't always mean easy. The hardest part isn't understanding money. The hardest part is changing the habits we've repeated for years. Because real wealth isn't built in a single weekend. It isn't created by one lucky investment, and it isn't reserved for people born into rich families. More often than not, wealth is the result of patience, discipline, consistency, and thousands of smart decisions made over a lifetime. Remember this: every paycheck gives you a choice. Every purchase tells a story. Every dollar you earn has a purpose. You can spend it on something that disappears tomorrow, or use it to build a future that lasts for decades. The decision is yours. No one can make it for you. The journey toward financial freedom doesn't begin when you become rich. It begins the moment you decide to take control of your money. Maybe today, you won't become a millionaire. Maybe this month, nothing dramatic will change. But if you start making better financial decisions today, your future self may one day thank you for the choices you made. Because the life you want isn't built by one perfect decision. It's built by the small decisions you repeat every single day. And that's the real secret behind lasting wealth. If this documentary helped you see money from a new perspective, we'd love to have you join our community. Subscribe to US Finance Hub for more finance documentaries, money psychology, investing lessons, and practical strategies to help you build long-term wealth. If you found value in this video, share it with someone who deserves a stronger financial future. Thank you for watching. And remember, the best time to change your financial future wasn't yesterday. It's today. We'll see you in the next documentary.